Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope that you are having a fantastic day. It's a beautiful spring day here, so I certainly am. And well, I wanted to talk with you a little bit about something, but first, if you wouldn't mind, I am going to read just a smidge, just a little smidge out of the Kybalion. And if you don't have a copy of it, I recommend it. I mean, you can get it on Amazon for like $8 or $9. And it's very good, even if it's just for reference. So, the all can create in no other way except mentally, without either using material, and there is none to use, or else reproducing itself, which is also impossible. There is no escape from this conclusion of the reason, which, as we have said, agrees with the highest teachings of the illumined. Just as you, student, may create a universe of your own in your mentality, so does the all create universes in its own mentality. But your universe is the mental creation of a finite mind, whereas that of the all is the creation of an infinite. The two are similar in kind, but infinitely different in degree. So, dear loved one, well, before I continue, if you would, please go ahead and hit the like button. I would appreciate it if you would do that. And also subscribe to the channel. Help me grow this channel. That would be fantastic. I would so appreciate that. But it says that the all created the universe and its mind. And it could not have created it out of matter because, well, there was none to be had. There was no matter. And even if there were, that would be what the all is made of. And the all cannot be subtracted from or divided. It creates in its mind. And it goes on to say that you also create in your own mind, but I mean, there is a difference in degree, there's a difference in scale. Where the all creates in an infinite mind, you create in a finite mind. However, that's okay. So, what that means is we do create. Our imagination is creative. When we have those creative moments, and we are creating, it has been created. Much like the referent or the example I've given in the past of the author who is concocting a story or some epic saga for that matter. It doesn't matter. But the author is imagining a story complete with characters, complete with heroes and villains and just the whole thing, and builds this entire world in the author's mind. And it has people, and then there will be other people that they encounter. I know some people get triggered when we say NPCs, but there are NPCs in these stories that we create in our mind because it has to be filled with background noise, right? So I was going to ask you, dear loved one, if you would just imagine with me for just a couple of minutes. Just imagine a place. It can be a beach, it can be a mountain, forest, it can be an entire city, whatever you want to imagine. And then I want you to imagine a person. This would be your main character. So imagine this person, imagine the details, what this person looks like, what their personality is like, their likes and dislikes, all of those things. Just create this person that lives in this place. Then, if you want, in fact, let's go ahead and do that. Let's create a second person. So now we have another person, and please imagine how they look, what their personality is like, likes, dislikes, hobbies, just everything about this person. So now you have a place and you have two people. And you can fill this place in with other people, but don't get too bogged down in the details because we need to be able to keep fresh what we have created so far with the place and the two people. But if you want to put animals in there, just whatever the case may be. Horns honking in the background if it's a city, that's cool. We can do all of those things. But now the first person that you've created, let's say this person becomes the author. And this person is writing a big epic saga and is creating people in this person in your imagination is now creating people in its imagination and is creating an entire world. Now, your second person, though, your second person is a computer programmer. So this person develops a game, a simulation game. And in it, people are allowed to maybe pay a fee. That way they can put on a VR headset and all these things and get jacked into this game so that they can have experiences. Maybe your character is selling this game as, hey, for take one day out of your life and immerse yourself into this world that I've created. And you can, by time dilation, live an entire lifetime in one day. Imagine the experience. Imagine the knowledge and wisdom you will gain just from that one day jacked into this creation that I have made in a computer. So all this is going on in your imagination. And so now well, okay, so my first person now has an entire world in its imagination, complete with everything that goes on in a world. And my second person now has this very highly technological computer and is now bringing other people in and jacking them in to that so that they can live lifetimes at a very time dilated rate. And that's rather amazing, isn't it? So anyway, loved one, I think you see where I'm going with this. I mean, you're pretty smart. I've got to believe. So you know where I'm going with this. But both of your people's characters, they all begin to question reality, because the ones that are, say, jacked into the computer, they go into the computer, they're born, they begin developing, they then begin questioning, am I in a simulation? Because everything seems so mathematically perfect, right? From Fibonacci sequence to golden ratio, everything is just perfect. In fact, while they're inside this simulation, let's say that's someone like James Gates III, that a very popular, very, very famous physicist, and who has found in nature, in everything, in everything to do with our reality that we are in, has been able to determine that there is code written into this reality. If they break down, I guess that's what I get for having my windows open, because now I'm getting all that. So bear with me, please, loved one. But anyway, so James Gates III, very famous physicist, has found code embedded in all of creation. And that is rather amazing. And then there's also the red laser DMT experiment, where people will do that substance and then look at objects through a red laser. The amazing thing is they're able to see code and through the laser. And the really cool part, like Chase Hughes, who is he has a YouTube channel, very popular. I like watching it because I guess he was like a mentalist for the CIA, I believe it was. Anyway, that's not what's important. Point is he knows a lot about how the human mind works. And he did this experiment, and he said the crazy thing about it is it's not really a hallucination, because if it were a hallucination, then the code would move with him. What he meant was, as he moves, this code that he's looking at would move with him. But that's not what happens. What happens is, as he's moving, he sees different rows of code as he goes. As long as he's looking through that red laser, he has to follow the laser, of course. Now, he also said, this is no code that I recognize. This is nothing that, it's not ones and zeros, but it's clearly code. I mean, we don't know what on the outside of this coding would be. So the point I'm getting at, though, loved one, is even if we are living in some simulated environment, it does not mean that we are a creation of a computer. It does not mean that you don't have consciousness. It does not mean you don't have a soul. It does not mean any of those things. It doesn't mean you didn't come from the ultimate creator, the all. Because everything exists in the mind of the all. Everything comes from the mind of the all. And if you were one of those people who got jacked into that computer for the purpose of having experiences so that you could say, yeah, I can live several lifetimes in a matter of hours or days or whatever, that does not change the fact that you are still you. You are a divine spark of the Creator. The Creator had that aha moment. And I have to explain it or word it in a linear way, as if like a timeline. But that's what I mean when I say the Creator had the aha moment. But that aha moment is still going on now, because there is only the I am moment right now. So, geez, I might have to wrap this up quick because I'm not going to be able to hang in there very long. But yeah, if you just imagine these people in your head, and then but see, that goes along back to what the Kybalion says about the infinite mind and the finite mind. We can't really give our creations true free will. We do have to script theirs. Now, they may be under the impression they have free will, but you see, the ultimate creator, the all, far more powerful, far more infinite than we are, can give free will. In fact, must give free will, because we are extensions of that, of the all, living experiences. It's like, for what purpose does that serve? Because it's one thing to imagine something. It's quite another thing to actually experience it. I consider and imagine a beautiful day at the beach. Wouldn't it be so much better to go and experience a beautiful day at the beach? Just saying. I mean, come on. Anyway, loved one, that's what I got, I believe. If you would, please follow me on X before I let you go. Please follow me on X. It's Matt Stevens, MSA. And if you do listen to the podcast, this is, what is the day? April 19th? Yeah. April 19th, 2025. And tomorrow I am releasing a podcast episode with my good friend Clive Wilson from the Breaking My Addictions podcast. So if you listen to the podcast, we got that coming up, and that's going to be great. So anyway, loved ones, that is what I got. I do love you, and I'll be back directly.